Hey guys, how are you? It's Zach from Zach Loves Books. Thanks for tuning in again. If you've watched my other videos, thanks for, visiting again. Maybe recommending to some people, liking and subscribing. It's good to have you here. I'm starting to get the hang of this, and it's really fun actually to, reread some books I've already read, read new books, and I have no shortage of books here at all to read, so that's the great thing. I don't have to really go out and do big book hauls because I'm surrounded by thousands of books in my apartment. In any case, let's jump right into it. Today, I actually have a book that I'm really excited to review, which is very kind of dear to me. Uh, and I don't have two copies of it on purpose. Sometimes I buy, a copy of a book because, I find a good deal on it, and I'm like, I don't know if I have this. Then I buy it, I come home and I'm like, oh, I already have that. But not with this one. Like, this, I think is just such an important book, educated by Tara Westover, that when I find a second copy somewhere, whether it's in a little library or at a book sale, for a couple of dollars, I pick it up and I make sure that I re-gift it to somebody who, may have not read it yet. And the reason why I think it's so important is because getting into memoir, this is my second memoir I'm reviewing here. So the reason I think it's important is that Tara grew up in a family that, homeschooled her. They didn't believe in traditional education. Basically, her parents were kind of kooky. At least her dad was a kook. He had paranoid delusions. I think he might have had bipolar disorder. He thought the government was out to get them, so he would just keep his kids at home and homeschool them and had them canning fruit and preserves and burying them, for when the war was coming. And he had them working on the family business, which was the junkyard. It's very dangerous, by the way. She basically grew up in this junkyard. She almost died like a couple of times, and they go through that in the book where there are times when flying pieces of metal and junk could have just killed her. But I guess by the grace of God, she survived. She's very religious. They're a religious family, and the reason why I mention that is because she, in the middle of the book somewhere, we find out that she has a voice of an angel, and her dad actually cries when he hears her sing for the first time, and so that kind of sticks with you, when you're reading the book. And then later on, I went on YouTube and I looked up a commencement speech that she gave at a university where she sings, and she does have the voice of an angel. So check that out after you read the book. But getting back to what the book is about, so she's homeschooled, but she has an older brother who ends up going to school, and she really envies that, and she's like, I want to go to school too. And against all odds, she kind of makes that decision for herself and does whatever she has to do to get educated and go to school. Despite her parents' objections, she still works in the family business, but she ends up going to school, and she ends up making it to Cambridge. And then she wrote this memoir, and I guess now she's famous worldwide. It's an international bestseller. And even when her parents came to visit her at Cambridge, she thought they would be proud of her, but the tragic thing about it is at the end, her parents end up disowning her. Despite all her success, despite the fact that she went to Cambridge, they basically gave her an ultimatum, like, stay here in Cambridge or we disown you. And she made a decision, and she's like, to this day, I guess she doesn't talk to her family. So, bringing us back to books like Malala, this book just once again proves to us the importance of an education, in this world. Education's a lot of things that people take for granted, You know, sometimes my kid doesn't feel like going to school, but I tell him it's important. He doesn't understand why now, but he will one day. You know, and even myself, I wish I had maybe pursued a higher education and pushed myself more. Maybe I could have gone to college or university, and who knows how that would have changed my life trajectory. But this was an awesome read. It's a biography, so it's, you know, it's not fiction, but just a fascinating story about Tara and her family and her growing up, you know, in the junkyard business, and how she made it to Cambridge. And you know, there's one particular part of the story where it's kind of jarring to the average person, because she's sitting in a lecture at Cambridge and she doesn't know what the Holocaust is. So, and everyone's kind of baffled by it. They actually think she's mocking the fact that it happened because she didn't have any knowledge of it, when because she wasn't educated, she never knew about it. But fascinating read. Check it out. Like I said, I have 2 copies. I'll probably get rid of one today. But this you will find in the bookstore. You know, let's see here. Not too long. It's about 300 somewhat pages. You know, it's only like $23. You could probably find it at a used bookstore. Take it out from your local library. Read it. Let me know what you think in the comments, and let me know, you know, if there's anything else you want me to cover. Thanks for tuning in, guys. That's it for today.